All right. The Amateur. Man, I finished watching this last night. I was like, oh my gosh. I resonate with it so much. I do indeed. I was judged. I was, misunderstood. My weakness and kindness were taken for granted in so many different ways. The Amateur. Let's see here. It's about a novel, 1981 novel. That's crazy. I didn't realize. It's released April 11, 2028. So basically what it is he lost his wife to, let's see what I can say on this app. If you haven't seen it, it's a really good movie. It's about, of course, like a lot of the movies are, it's about corrupted CIA agents and all this crap. You know, they make so many movies about that. Isn't that crazy? It really is. Grief as transformation. Charlie's journey is driven by trauma. His grief propels him into morally gray territory, blurring the lines between duty and vengeance. There's almost a ritualistic element to his preparation, suggesting grief as both destructive and transformative force. See, and that's the thing, is like my grief, meaning not only the grief for others and everything inside my life that was just a lie, but the grief for myself of like my ego death, my dark shadows, walking through all my unhealed childhood wounds. Like there's the grief in the grief of like betrayals, manipulation, gaslighting, the false facade, the false narratives, like carrying the grief of that, like stung and burned enough for me to sit in it and go into it and feel everything, and then go into the world and try to figure out why we live in a world where people do these things. Not move in a way of like wanting to get back or tit for tat or vengeance or anything like that. See, that's what he did here. But see, the difference is they underestimated him. And I feel that too. I was underestimated too. But see, I'd move differently. I move differently because I have God and the divine. Period. Like last night I walked outside and I saw the star just beaming over me. Justice versus institutional compromise. By exposing the CI blah, 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 hidden actions and demanding field training through blackmail. You know, that's the thing. If you can't beat them, join them. But I'm like, no, I ain't even going to join them. I'm going to rise above them. I just refuse. Absolutely refuse. I sleep better at night. I walk with a pep in my step. Charlie wrestles with a conflict between personal morality and institutional secrecy. That's so much what we deal with. That right there in itself. Personal morality and institutional secrecy. That is like the biggest thing that I would say a lot of people unraveled in my little story and my little testimony probably battle with is personal morality and institutional secrecy. The quest for personal justice invites reflection on where the system fails and whether individuals must step up into that void. That's the thing. You go against the grain, it's not going to be an easy. It's not. They have so graciously put together this system where it is not easy to go against. That's why it's constructed the way that it is. Mind over matter. Unlike typical action heroes, Charlie's greatest weapon is his intellect. That was my favorite part. Because that's one of my greatest weapons as well, is my intellect. You know, I don't know every word. I don't pronounce them every right. I don't know every meaning. But what I do know is how to decode, how to pick up things, how to recognize my surroundings, how to pick up on energies, my foresight, my clairvoyance, those are all things that I've had my entire life, but I'm just tapping into them. These are all things I've had. But my intellect is major. His Cato, let's see here, hacking prowess. This could symbolize the triumph, inner strength, and moral resolve over brute force. That's the thing, is you don't need brute force to win. You really don't. Nobody needs brute force to win. And what are you even trying to win? That's the thing. Like, what, at the end of the day, what are we looking to win? What victory are we trying to win? I'm still trying to figure that out. You know what I mean? My victory has already been won by the grace of God. What breaks my heart is how many, like, I'm in a group chat with some other ladies that are fighting the good fight, the judicial way, the right way. And how many of them have been torn apart from their families and their children? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this to families? Why are we taking kids away? Why are we manipulating kids to go against their parents, their loved ones? Why are we doing this? How do we not see that there is evil in the world doing such things? Despite acting outside official boundaries, Charlie ultimately forces accountability for both the criminals and the corrupt agency leaders. His actions spark institutional reform and personal, hinting the redemption through confrontation rather than submission. And that's the thing. You know, I move the way that I move because I know God will hold those accountable the way that God wants to hold them accountable. Whether you're institutional, you're not, you're in my family, your old friends, old loved ones, previous relationships, like, those are all things between them and God. You know, there is a awakening happening. There is a change. What's the best verbiage to say? I guess there is a change on the brink of time, I'd say. I mean, it's very easy to see. It's very easy to see what God's doing here in different ways. And, you know, you can be on one side of it or you can be on another side of it. It's up to you. You have free will. We all have free will. Whether they want to create an illusion, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to create an illusion, making you think that you do not have free will, but you by all means do. Everybody has free will. And it's up to you what you do with your free will. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. What in this world is easy, though, really? If we get down to the brass grass of it. Not much. Not much is in the world of easy. So it's up to you. How do you want to go down? How do you want to go down? These are things that I think to myself. And saving you saves me. God's got me. Those are things that I think about all day. I have those written everywhere. You know? That's how I want to go down. You know? People know what they do. People know what they bestow. People know how they misuse the system. And, you know, it's one of those things. I'm not here to conform. I'm here to go against the grain in a different way. You know, I'm not going to meet fire with fire. I'm going to meet fire with love. I'm going to go back with pails of water because it makes me feel better. I feel better. And because I move the way that I move and how, like, I move in different ways, I do things that are going to make me feel better. I don't do things that are going to make other people feel better anymore. I do things that make me feel better. And so since I started doing that is when everything in my reality kind of started transforming. And I hope this video resonated, but if you feel like you're a little immature in your life, well, maybe that's a gift, you know? Be misunderstood, be mistaken. You know, I mean, it's just crazy the world that we live in. For entertainment purposes only, I love you guys. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to work on today. I love you. Thank you for all the love and the support. We're in this together. I just had a hot flash. Have a great day. Happy Friday. What's today? Ooh, 15th. All right. I got a dentist appointment today. Oof. We'll see how that goes. All right. Love you.